The quantum sensors beneath Europa's ice sheets registered the anomaly first. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the readings in her underground laboratory, her coffee forgotten as streams of data painted an impossible picture. The void between Jupiter and Saturn had just rippled in ways that defied conventional physics. "Director Matthews needs to see this," she whispered, her fingers flying across the holographic interface. The quantum frequency patterns matched none of humanity's known spacefaring vessels. After 2 centuries of solar system expansion, they'd finally detected something truly alien. Within hours, Earth's major powers convened a secret emergency session. The quantum disturbance had grown stronger, more focused. Whatever was out there was getting closer, and it wasn't trying to hide. At least, not from conventional detection methods. Admiral James Rodriguez stood before the assembled leaders in the Geneva complex's secure chamber, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display of the solar system. "The vessel will reach lunar orbit in approximately 72 hours, he announced, his voice steady despite the historic gravity of the moment. "But there's something else you need to know." He gestured, and the display shifted to show complex wave patterns. "Our quantum detection grid is picking up emissions that suggest this isn't just one ship. There are hundreds, maybe thousands more, currently masked by some form of advanced cloaking technology. They're hanging back, waiting." The chamber erupted in worried murmurs, but Rodriguez raised his hand. "We've prepared for this. Project Oracle has given us an advantage they don't expect us to have." 20 years earlier, humanity had detected its first quantum anomalies, tiny ripples in space-time that suggested artificial manipulation. Instead of announcing this discovery, Earth's nations had secretly united behind a singular purpose: preparing for eventual contact. They'd built a vast network of quantum sensors throughout the solar system, developed technologies that worked on principles their visitors wouldn't expect, and maintained a careful facade of being less advanced than they truly were. The first alien transmission arrived exactly as predicted. It came through conventional radio waves, in a language that humanity's AI translators had already learned from years of intercepting distant communications. The message was elegant in its simplicity. "We are the Arcturus Collective. We come in peace." Director Elena Matthews of Earth's Contact Division stood in her office atop the Geneva complex, watching the alien vessel approach on multiple displays. To conventional sensors, it appeared to be a single diplomatic ship, gleaming with advanced technology, but not overtly threatening. The quantum sensors told a different story. Energy signatures of weapons powerful enough to glass planets, and subtle distortions that suggested a cloaked fleet waiting in the darkness. "They think we're blind," she said to Rodriguez, who stood beside her. "Let's keep it that way." Earth's response was carefully crafted to appear both welcoming and technologically modest. They used simple radio waves, expressed appropriate awe at the aliens' faster-than-light technology, and asked for guidance from their more advanced cosmic neighbors. The Arcturus vessel entered lunar orbit with practiced precision. Its design was organic and flowing, all curved lines and iridescent surfaces that seemed to drink in sunlight. Earth sent up a delegation in what appeared to be their most advanced ship, a vessel that any spacefaring race would consider primitive but functional. Aboard the alien ship, humanity's representatives played their roles perfectly. They marveled at the artificial gravity, expressed amazement at the holographic displays, and asked careful questions that revealed exactly what the collective expected to hear. Earth was right for guidance. What the aliens didn't know was that quantum sensors woven into the delegates' clothing were mapping every inch of the vessel, analyzing its technologies, and identifying its weaknesses. The neural implants hidden behind their eyes recorded everything, while quantum-entangled communicators transmitted data back to Earth through channels the collective couldn't detect. During the diplomatic reception, Collective Ambassador Zixtal spoke of unity, advancement, and the benefits of joining their civilization. Their translator rendered their clicks and whistles into perfect English, another sign of their apparent technological superiority. "We have so much to share with humanity. they said, their iridescent skin shifting through patterns of friendly blues and greens. Dr. Chen, part of the delegation, smiled and nodded while her quantum sensors detected energy signatures consistent with weapons charging somewhere in the cloaked fleet. The collective was preparing for something, but they didn't realize that humanity had already mapped their entire battle fleet's positions. Back on Earth, Matthews received the quantum data stream and allowed herself a grim smile. The collected ship designs, their energy signatures, their technological principles, everything was being analyzed and countered before they even revealed their true intentions. "They're following the exact pattern we predicted," she told the Emergency Council. "They'll spend 3 months on diplomatic overtures, mapping our defenses and positioning their fleet. Then they'll demand our integration into their collective. When we refuse," she let the implications hang in the air. Rodriguez nodded. "By then, Production Complex Omega on Mars will have finished analyzing their technology and completed our countermeasures. We'll be ready." In the depths of Europa, automated factories that the collective didn't know existed began production. Beneath the red sands of Mars, quantum computers modeled and refined weapon designs, and in the asteroid belt, stealth platforms shifted position, preparing for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy. The humans smiled, nodded, and played their parts perfectly. Let the collective think they were dealing with naive newcomers to the galactic stage. Let them believe their deception was working. Humanity had learned long ago that the best way to win a game was to let your opponent think they were the only one cheating. Deep beneath the Martian surface, Dr. Maya Patel watched as the quantum fabrication array brought another prototype into existence. The machine hummed softly, weaving matter at the subatomic level into configurations that the Arcturus collective would consider impossible. The resulting device was small enough to fit in her palm, a quantum phase inverter that could disable any of the collective's energy weapons with a precisely calibrated pulse. Production efficiency has increased by 30%. In Geneva, Director Matthews hosted another diplomatic reception for Ambassador Zixtal and their staff. The building appeared to be a simple government facility, its quantum shielding and advanced defensive systems hidden behind marble facades and wooden panels. "We're so grateful for the collective's guidance," Matthews said, playing her role perfectly. "Earth's nations are very interested in your proposal for integration into your civilization." Zixtal's skin rippled with patterns that humanity's quantum sensors identified as smugness and anticipation. "We're pleased to hear that," they replied. "The integration process will bring great benefits to your people." What the ambassador didn't know was that every word, every subtle change in their bioluminescence, was being analyzed by quantum AI systems that had spent decades studying collective psychology. Their species' emotional patterns were now an open book to Earth's leaders. The quantum sensors detected the subtle signal transmitted from the ambassador's hidden communicator to the cloaked fleet. The collective was accelerating their timetable, preparing to strike before Earth had a chance to develop any significant defensive capabilities. In her Mars facility, Maya received the alert and smiled. She opened a secure channel to Rodriguez. "They're moving faster than predicted. The attack will come within the week." "Good," Rodriguez replied. "I'm tired of pretending our ships can barely reach Mars. Time to show them what humanity can really do." Throughout the solar system, preparations that had been years in the making entered their final phases. Quantum shields were charged to full power, weapon systems were brought to ready status, and ships that appeared primitive on the outside powered up their true engines. On Europa, Dr. Chen made final adjustments to the quantum sensor network that would ensure no collective ship could hide once the battle began. "They think they're about to conquer another primitive species," she said to her team. "Instead, they're about to learn why you should always look beneath the surface." In high orbit around Earth, the collective's diplomatic vessel continued its mission, unaware that every system, every weakness, every tactical advantage they thought they had been analyzed and countered. They believed they were shepherding another young species into their fold. They didn't realize they were about to become an object lesson in the dangers of underestimating humanity. The final days of peace ticked by, each side preparing for a confrontation that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. But only one side knew the true stakes of the coming battle, and it wasn't the one with thousands of ships hidden in the outer system. The attack began precisely as Earth's quantum sensors had predicted. The collective's diplomatic vessel transmitted its final message, an ultimatum demanding Earth's immediate surrender and integration, while their cloaked fleet moved into strike position. They expected shock, panic, and disorganization. They got none of these. Ambassador Zixtal's skin pulsed with aggressive reds as they delivered their message to the emergency session of Earth's leadership. You have one planetary rotation to submit to collective authority. Resistance will be met with overwhelming force. Director Matthews sat calmly at the conference table, her expression neutral. The quantum sensors in the room detected energy signatures, indicating the collective's weapons were already charging. "And if we refuse?" she asked, playing for time as final preparations were completed throughout the solar system. "Then we will be forced to demonstrate the consequences of defying the collective," Zixtal declared. Their skin patterns showed absolute confidence in their technological superiority. Matthews allowed herself a small smile. "I was hoping you'd say that." She pressed a single button on the table before her, sending a quantum-encrypted signal throughout the solar system. Initiative Prometheus is now active. Across the solar system, humanity's facade fell away. Quantum shields shimmered into visibility around every major settlement, their energy signatures far beyond anything the collective had encountered. Ships that had appeared primitive suddenly shed their camouflage, revealing sleek vessels bristling with advanced weapons. On the bridge of their flagship, Zixtal received frantic reports from their fleet commanders. Impossible energy signatures detected throughout the system. The humans. Their technology. This can't be. The first shot came from a collective destroyer, aiming to destroy Earth's primitive orbital defense platforms. The energy beam struck a quantum shield and simply ceased to exist. Absorbed and redirected through dimensions the collective didn't know how to access. In her Mars facility, Maya watched the tactical displays with satisfaction. "All quantum phase inverters are functioning perfectly," she reported. "Their energy weapons are useless against our shields." The collective launched their full assault, thousands of ships decloaking to fire simultaneously at Earth's major cities. They expected to see devastation. Instead, their weapons had no effect. Worse, each shot revealed their positions to humanity's quantum targeting systems. "They're still following standard invasion protocols," Dr. Chen observed from her command post on Europa. "Exactly as our simulations predicted. Admiral Rodriguez, your forces are clear to proceed." Rodriguez's voice carried across quantum channels to every human ship and installation. "All units, execute Operation Thunderbolt. Show them what humanity can really do." From behind Luna, Earth's true fleet emerged. Ships that the collective's sensors insisted couldn't exist moved with impossible grace, their quantum drives allowing them to ignore conventional physics. Weapon systems that operated on principles the aliens had never imagined targeted their vessels with perfect precision. The first wave of collective ships fell in seconds, their shields useless against weapons that struck from directions they couldn't defend against. The aliens attempted to adapt, to change tactics, but humanity had spent years studying their combat doctrine. Every countermove they tried had already been anticipated and prepared for. "Impossible," Zixtal screamed as their flagship sensors showed collective ships being systematically disabled by technology they couldn't even detect properly. "How can they have this level of advancement?" "Our surveys showed." "We showed you exactly what we wanted you to see," Matthews interrupted, standing now. "Every primitive satellite, every seemingly simple defense platform, every outdated ship, all carefully crafted to feed your own arrogance." In the outer system, collective commanders watched in horror as their carefully positioned reserve forces were picked apart by weapons fired from quantum planes their sensors couldn't penetrate. Ships that tried to retreat found their engines mysteriously failing, disabled by Maya's quantum phase inverters. Clear the outer system first, Rodriguez ordered. Don't let any of them escape to warn the collective homeworld. We do this on our terms, at our pace. The battle that the collective had expected to be a simple subjugation turned into a devastating revelation of their own technological inadequacy. Every advantage they thought they had, superior numbers, advanced energy weapons, cloaking technology, proved worthless against humanity's quantum-based systems. Dr. Chen's sensor network tracked the mounting devastation with clinical precision. 80% of their fleet has been neutralized, she reported. The remaining vessels are attempting to retreat, but our quantum inhibitors are preventing them from accessing faster-than-light travel. In orbit above Earth, Zixtal watched their mighty invasion force crumble before what they had dismissed as a primitive species. Their skin had gone pale, showing patterns of fear that human quantum sensors easily decoded. How? They demanded of Matthews. How did you hide all of this? The same way you hid your fleet, Matthews replied. The difference is, our deception worked. Yours didn't. We saw you coming years ago, Ambassador. Every ship, every weapon, every tactic. We've had decades to prepare our response. The battle lasted less than 6 hours. When it was over, the mighty collective fleet had been reduced to floating hulks, their crews contained but unharmed, their weapons and engines disabled by technology they still couldn't understand. As the quantum sensors confirmed their total victory, Matthews turned to the ambassador. Now then, shall we discuss new terms for our civilization's relationship? I believe you'll find humanity's conditions for peace quite interesting. The quantum communications room beneath Geneva hummed with activity as humanity prepared for its first major offensive beyond the solar system. Director Matthews studied the holographic display showing the known extent of collective space, territory that had been mapped in secret over decades by Earth's quantum probe network. The collective's leadership still believes their invasion fleet is en route to Earth, Dr. Chen reported, her image projected from Europa. Our quantum scramblers are feeding their communication networks false data. As far as they know, everything is proceeding according to plan. Admiral Rodriguez's hologram nodded. Then it's time for Phase 2. Maya, are the new ships ready? From her Mars facility, Maya's projection smiled. The Horizon-class vessels are fully operational. Quantum drives are calibrated for deep space operations, and the new stealth systems are even better than we hoped. The collective won't see us coming until it's far too late. The first strike force departed Earth orbit silently, their quantum drives leaving no trace in normal space. 10 ships, each carrying technology that would have seemed like magic to the collective, headed for their first target, the Arcturus Forward Command Base. Aboard the flagship Prometheus, Captain Sarah Williams watched her crew prepare for humanity's first faster-than-light combat operation. The ship's quantum AI had already plotted courses that would bypass all known collective detection grids. Their advances in quantum physics hadn't just given them better weapons. They'd fundamentally changed the rules of space travel. All ships report ready, her tactical officer announced. Quantum synchronization complete. We can execute the jump on your command. Williams took a deep breath. Initiative Stormbreaker is go. Execute quantum jump. Reality twisted in ways that the collective scientists had never imagined possible. The human fleet didn't just move faster than light. They stepped completely outside normal space, appearing instantly at their destination through quantum tunneling. The Arcturus command base was considered impregnable by collective standards. Multiple layers of energy shields, thousands of automated defense platforms, and a garrison fleet of over 300 ships protected what they considered a vital military installation. None of their defenses were designed to stop ships that could ignore conventional physics. The human fleet materialized inside their defense perimeter, quantum weapons already charged. Before the collective sensors could even register their presence, precisely targeted strikes disabled their primary power cores. The mighty shields protecting the base flickered and died, never detecting the attacks that had slipped through quantum spaces between their energy layers. First objective secured, Williams reported back to Earth through quantum-entangled channels that the collective couldn't detect, let alone intercept. Their command structure is in chaos. Moving to Phase 2. Maya's quantum phase inverters proved just as effective against collective ground installations as they had against their ships. Defense systems simply shut down, energy weapons refused to fire, and communication networks went dark. The entire base was neutralized without a single casualty on either side. "Send the message," Rodriguez ordered. Throughout the base, quantum holograms appeared before the stunned collective personnel. The image of Director Matthews spoke in perfect collective standard. "Your forces at Earth have already been defeated. This installation is now under human control. Surrender, and no harm will come to you." But this was just the beginning. As the Arcturus base was being secured, quantum sensors detected exactly what humanity had expected: emergency signals being transmitted to other collective installations through channels they thought were secure. "They took the bait," Dr. Chen confirmed. "Multiple fleet elements are converging on our position, just as predicted, transmitting their coordinates to all ships now." Williams smiled as the tactical data flowed into her ship's systems. The collective was reacting exactly as their psychological profiles had suggested they would, with overwhelming force directed at a single point. They were about to learn just how dangerous such predictability could be. "All ships, prepare for synchronized quantum jumps," she ordered. Operation Checkmate is now active. The human fleet vanished moments before the first collective reinforcements arrived. The aliens found their command base disabled, their garrison forces contained, and no sign of how it had been accomplished. But they had no time to investigate before quantum signatures began appearing throughout their territory. 10 human ships became 50, striking simultaneously at key installations across collective space. Each target was carefully chosen, not for its military value, but for its psychological impact. Command centers, shipyards, research facilities, anywhere the collective felt secure, humanity demonstrated their vulnerability. "Their entire defense network is collapsing," Maya reported, monitoring the quantum data streams. "They can't cope with an enemy that simply ignores their conventional defenses." In the Geneva Command Center, Matthews watched the systematic dismantling of the collective's military infrastructure with grim satisfaction. "Have they attempted to contact their invasion fleet yet?" "Multiple times," Chen confirmed. "Our quantum scramblers are still feeding them false data. As far as their leadership knows, they're fighting 2 impossible battles simultaneously, one at Earth and one throughout their core systems." Rodriguez's hologram smiled. "And now for the final blow. Captain Williams, you have a go for Operation Oracle. Show them what happens when they underestimate humanity." The Prometheus and its fleet appeared in high orbit above the collective's capital world, their quantum weapons powered but not yet active. On every communication channel, in every government facility, Matthew's message played one final time. "You thought you found a primitive species ready for conquest. Instead, you discovered that humanity had surpassed you long ago. We could destroy your civilization as easily as you planned to subjugate ours. But unlike you, we believe in offering genuine choices." Throughout collective space, their military and political leaders watched in stunned silence as humanity demonstrated just how completely they had miscalculated. The species they had dismissed as primitive had not only defeated their invasion, but had penetrated the heart of their territory at will. The Great Hall of the Collective's High Council had never hosted a meeting quite like this, where once the Collective's leaders had plotted the subjugation of lesser species. Now they sat in silence as Director Matthews outlined humanity's terms for peace. The quantum sensors hidden in her delegation's clothing detected a mix of fear, awe, and most importantly, growing understanding. "Your civilization stands at a crossroads," Matthews explained, her voice carrying easily through the vast chamber. "The past week has demonstrated that your traditional approach to interstellar relations is no longer viable. But we're not here to replace one empire with another." Behind her, holographic displays showed the extent of humanity's operation. Every disabled ship, Every neutralized installation, every carefully orchestrated strike that had systematically dismantled the collective's military superiority. Not a single life had been lost, a fact that impressed the collective's leadership even more than the technology that had achieved it. Impossible. First speaker Zerlax whispered, their skin shifting through patterns of disbelief. To achieve this level of advancement in secret, how long have you been watching us? Long enough to understand that the collective's current path leads only to stagnation. Dr. Chen replied from her position beside Matthews. Your civilization has spent centuries perfecting the art of domination, but you've forgotten how to innovate. Every species you've conquered has been forced to adapt your technology, your methods, your way of thinking. You've created an empire of copies. Maya's hologram materialized next, her Mars laboratory visible behind her. We studied your technical databases after securing your command centers, your weapons, your ships, your quantum theory. They haven't fundamentally changed in over 300 years. You stopped pushing boundaries because you thought you'd reached the peak of possible advancement. Admiral Rodriguez joined the conversation from the bridge of humanity's new flagship, Ascendant. We're offering you something more valuable than territory or technology. We're offering you a future where cooperation breeds innovation, where different perspectives solve problems that no single species could tackle alone. The quantum sensors detected a subtle shift in the council chamber's emotional atmosphere. The fear was fading, replaced by curiosity, exactly as humanity's psychological models had predicted. The collective had spent so long being the teachers that they'd forgotten the thrill of being students. Your terms, Zerlax asked, their skin now showing patterns of cautious interest. Matthews gestured, and a new hologram appeared, a map of known space with borders redrawn. First, the immediate release of all subjugated species from collective control. They'll be free to choose their own path forward, whether that's independence or voluntary association with either of our civilizations. Second, she continued, the establishment of a new interstellar framework. Not an empire, but a genuine federation where technological and cultural exchange flows in all directions. Your experience in managing vast territories could be invaluable if applied to cooperation rather than conquest. Captain Williams, speaking from her position near the collective homeworld, added, we've already identified 17 breakthrough technologies that could be developed by combining human quantum science with collective materials engineering. Imagine what we could achieve by working together instead of fighting. The council chamber erupted in discussion, patterns of color flowing across alien skin as they debated this radical departure from centuries of tradition. But the decision had effectively been made the moment humanity revealed their true capabilities. The collective could adapt or become irrelevant. There will be resistance, Zerlax warned. Many of our people have grown comfortable with our old ways. We know, Matthews replied. Change is never easy, but we've prepared for that too. Throughout collective space, quantum probes were already broadcasting the truth to every subjugated species, detailed technical and cultural information about both humanity and the collective, allowing them to make informed choices about their future. The age of ignorance was over. In her Europa laboratory, Dr. Chen watched the quantum data streams showing the cascading effects of humanity's revelation. The shockwaves are spreading faster than even we predicted. The Fraction Assembly has already declared independence, and the Tellurian worlds are requesting human technological advisors. And the collective's military hardliners? Rodriguez asked. Dealing with a rather comprehensive data leak about their personal financial interests in conquered territories, Maya replied with a slight smile. Amazing how quickly war hawks become peace advocates when their profits are at stake. Back in the council chamber, Matthews concluded the historic meeting. The galaxy stands on the brink of a new age. Humanity emerged from our cradle expecting to find teachers, only to discover that we had already surpassed those who would have guided us. Now we offer what we once hoped to receive, genuine partnership in exploring the mysteries that still lie beyond all our civilizations. As the Council formally accepted humanity's terms, Quantum sensors throughout human space detected hundreds of artificial signals that had been hidden beneath background radiation. Other advanced civilizations that, like humanity, had chosen to watch and wait, rather than reveal themselves prematurely. "Well," Matthews said privately to her team through their quantum link, "it seems we're not the only ones who learned the value of patience. The real game is just beginning." In orbit above Earth, the original collective diplomatic vessel hung suspended and powerless, a monument to the dangers of underestimating a species that had learned to let others underestimate them. Humanity had kept their mask in place until the perfect moment, and in doing so, had changed the galaxy forever. The age of empires was over. The age of innovation had begun.